everybody, welcome to my channel. I am Tammy, and here on Tammy Talks, we talk TV. That's what I do. We talk TV. So if you are new here, thank you for checking out the video. Go ahead and hit the subscribe button. If you are a repeat person that you have found me from another video that you were watching, go ahead and subscribe so that way you don't have to type in my name next week and you can just automatically get my videos. All right. So if you enjoy the content, please thumbs up the video, leave some comments down below, and let's just go ahead and get into it, y'all. So this is Sistas season 3, episode 12, The Dollar Store. Why was it called The Dollar Store? Okay. Um, the episode really picks up right where last season left off, where, as we know, Maurice was out there messing around with Q, being super thirsty for this man, and after they got done sexing, after they got done having the sex, Q pulls out a gun on Maurice and tells him, basically, let's go on down to the bank because I'm about to rob you. I want all the money from the bank. So this is what kills me with Tyler Perry shows. So this man has a gun out on Maurice. Maurice keeps going back and forth with, oh, I can't wear this because this doesn't match. Oh, I can't wear this. I can't be on the news dead in mismatched clothes. And it's like, if someone is really holding you at gunpoint like this, if you are truly scared of your life, if you are scared for your life, if you are truly in a state of like shock and whatever, you're not about to play them games like that. And I think for me, that is one of the most irritating things that Tyler Perry does on these shows, is he likes to throw in these campy moments where, he has the character do absolutely too much all the time. And it's just kind of like, it's not realistic. No one that has a gun to their head, a gun to their life is at gunpoint. No one is gonna be like, oh, I can't wear these gray pants and this orange shirt. Can I go get another shirt? Can I do this? And it's like, Maurice, just carry your ass on down to the bank because you got yourself in a situation, to be real. Because you should have had his ass arrested. Okay, you should have had him arrested when you first caught him trying to cash Calvin's checks. Stupid. So Maurice tells them, I can't open the vault. We need a manager to do it. I worked at a bank in college. You can't. You can't. I thought that was kind of common sense that everybody knew. Q apparently does not. One person cannot open the safe or open that vault. It's not possible. Because when you work at a bank, you are only giving part of the code. You're not giving the entire code. And you kind of never really knows who has the other part of the code. They change codes often as well. You cannot break into a bank and get into that safe, the vault, but whatever. So he mentions needing a manager. So Q says, oh, well, let's go get Sabrina. Why does Q know Sabrina's name? So Maurice, now you done got Sabrina involved for no reason. Stupid. So then we switch over to Karen and Aaron. They are sitting on the couch where they watched the movie. Last season, it ended off with Aaron proposing to her, saying, let's just go ahead and get married. What? Why? Why would we go ahead and get married? It's like, and he is really like befuddled that Karen is like, no, like, let's wait. So Karen is like, let's take it slow. I still love Zack. I'm still kind of hung up on him. I'm not in love with Zack, but I do still love Zack. And Aaron is like, well, why do we need to slow down? Because y'all have known each other for 2 weeks. Now, granted, this is a Tyler Perry show, right? It's been 3 seasons. These entire 3 seasons have probably realistically been about a month. Maybe a month and a half in real time on this show. So why would you think that, yeah, let's go ahead and get married? Your wife just killed herself in my shop. We're not getting married. Not today, bro. Not today. So, Aaron goes on this impassioned speech about how his soul's mission is to make sure she is happy in life, to make sure she forgets about Zack. He wants her to be her best self and to be in love and happy and content, and he wants that with him. Aaron is a red flag. Aaron has been a red flag. Do y'all remember when Aaron was going through that divorce with his wife and they were in Andie's office, how he flipped out on her ass and was yelling at her and banging on the table to go ahead and sign the papers, which like relinquished her getting certain things in the divorce, like, and okay, something is not right with Aaron. On top of the fact that he kicks it with Gary. Birds of a feather flock together. That man is crazy, just like Gary's crazy ass. So we switch over to Andie. She is in her office, y'all, rolling on the couch with Robin, the lawyer London. The London lawyer. It's early. Rolling on the couch with the London lawyer. Andie likes the attention of men. She is one of those women who she has to constantly have men pay attention to her and throw compliments at her and get all this sexual attention and sexual energy bouncing off of men because that's what helps her self-esteem. We know that Andie is insecure. She has low self-esteem. While she might be book smart, she's dumb as a box of rocks when it comes to personal life and just everything else outside of being a lawyer. So they stop. Andie stops the necking that's going on, and she kind of tells him, we can't do this, I'm engaged. And I'm thinking, girl, what's the difference now? Like, honestly, what is the difference on top of the fact that you're in your office and y'all got all these glass doors and windows? Where is the professionalism? Andrea, my God. So they have this long drawn out conversation where Robin is telling her it doesn't matter that you're engaged. You weren't acting like you were engaged a minute ago. And she's like, we just had a fight. It's okay. And it's like, Andie, are you doing this because you think that this is your way of getting a one up on Gary? This is your way of getting back on Gary? Or is it because you truly like Robin? Or is it because Gary's not giving you the attention that you want and you need right now, and Robin is? So let me just go on and hop on to the next man. That's basically what Andie is doing. So they go back and forth, and Andie is saying how she's a tease, and she's asking him, can you keep yourself together with as hard as you are? And he was like, I know how to handle myself, grown as man. And Andie's like flirting back with him, and then it becomes Robin saying, well, he wants to have one last memory with her before he leaves. And she's like, no, I'm engaged. I'm engaged. And it's like, girl, you ain't thinking about Gary. You want the attention. You like the fact that Robin is basically throwing himself at you right now. You like that. You like that shit. That's all you want, is the attention of someone. So then they have this kiss again, and Robin tells her that he feels something. He knows that she can feel something. So, let's work it out together. And it's kind of like, this is not going to end well. So the next scene goes over to Sabrina and Calvin, who are waking up in bed post-coital. They just got done having a night of passion, aggressive passion, that the lamp is knocked over and pictures on the wall are crooked and all this other stuff. And they go back and forth where Calvin is saying that he has to get up and leave because she has to go to work in a couple hours. It's already 6 a.m. And it's back and forth. Do you have to leave? Yeah, I have to leave. Do you really have to leave? Yes, I have to leave. You have to go to work. But do you really? And it's like, Calvin, get your ass out the bed and just go. Sick of the conversation. So then he randomly, it's just like, so what are we doing here? Are we committed to each other? And I'm like, she doesn't want to commit to you because this was your issue the first time. Well, the second time. This was your issue last season with her not being in a space where she's ready to commit to you. Sabrina is immature and Sabrina lacks emotional maturity. So, of course, she's not ready to commit. Of course she's not. So yeah, so of course she's not ready to commit. This was your problem, initially. So then Calvin tells her, well, look, if we do decide to start messing with other people, will you at least let me know? Tell me, so that, he doesn't want to be caught off guard with it. And she's like, even if it involves the guy from the bank talking about Jacoby. And she is just like, no, no, don't worry about him. And I'm like, girl, you want Jacoby. Everybody wants Jacoby. You want Jacoby. And Sabrina's just like, no, not him. Definitely not. And then it goes back to her just saying she's just not ready to commit just yet. But if she does decide to start messing with somebody else, that she would definitely tell Calvin and give him the heads up, which I guess. So then Calvin tells her that he loves her and she doesn't say it back. And then he's like, you don't have to say it until you're ready. She says that she feels bad not saying it back. And it's like, no, that is what so many people do wrong now, is that they say I love you back. They say I love you back to people because they feel like it's the right thing to do. And that's why we have these fatal attractions and all these other type of situations that go all the way left, because people do that when if you're not ready to say I love you to somebody, then don't. So he leaves and eventually goes to work, and she's like, all right, let me just catch a couple more hours of sleep before she has to go to the bank. Andie goes home to Gary, and Gary walks out and it's like, where you been? Because he's pissed. We know that they left off initially. When she left, it was because he had his therapist and another woman simulating sex, trying to get him to a point where he can once again perform with Andie, because he can't. He can't, because all he thinks about is the fact that she was with another man, even though he's been with his wife and I guess another woman. That storyline was never really cleared up. He can't fathom the fact that she slept with somebody else. So she tells him, I was at the gym, which is the lie that he used to tell his wife when he was going to see her. So Gary's mad and he's like, oh, you trying to be funny? Is this a joke to you? So he's like, you trying to take me back to old Gary? Like, he is flipping out. And Andie is just like, when did the old Gary ever leave? So, like, Andie's on this petty kick. She's being super petty. And the only reason I think she's being petty is because she kind of knows that deep down, he really did. Deep down, while she's mad that he was simulating sex with someone else as part of his therapy, after talking to Karen and Karen telling her that, yeah, that's actually a thing that happens, Andie kind of feels away, but she has to stick to being mad. So that's why she's like going hard for this. So Gary tells her that he is actually, that she likes the drama, and that his therapist told him that Andie has a personality trait that likes drama. So, which I agree. I wholeheartedly agree 1,000%. Because Andie has stayed in this relationship with Gary and allowed herself to be disrespected, allowed herself to be hugged to death, allowed herself to be jumped by his wife, allowed herself to have her life seized by the FBI, allowed herself to have her job jeopardized, allowed herself to have a gun put out on her, allowed herself to, we can really go on and on and on with all the dumb stuff that Andie has allowed to happen to her, and she turns around and takes her ass back to Gary. She does have a personality trait, a character flaw, a defect, a mental defect that thrives off of drama. And there are people that are like this. There are people that are definitely like this, that drama is what keeps them going. So Gary said, did you know what? He's not here to fight. So he said he's going to go and relieve some tension at the gym. And Andie says, well, yeah, you need to, because you can't work out tension any other way. And so Gary gets mad. He's like, is that a shot because I can't perform with you? And it's like, Gary, just go out the house. Where are your kids? Who's watching your kids? Go somewhere, Gary. We switch over to Fatima and Zack. Zack wants Fatima to, they're waking up from sex in the morning as well. Zack wants Fatima to, almost fell. So okay. So Zach wants Fatima to come with him to look at some property later. He's going to buy a house. As we know, Zach won that money. So he said last season he wants to take that money, flip it. And he's going to kind of make his own like chain breakers type of situation where he's going to be um, buying properties, revamping them, flipping them. So he wants her to call him real estate bay, and she's lawyer bay. And I said, but she's not a lawyer, and she's lawyer bay, and he wants her opinion on the house because it's a lot of money. He's never done anything like this before. He knows that Fatima is smart. She knows about real estate and stuff like that because of her work with chain breakers, by her being a legal assistant. She might be a paralegal. She knows, the legal jargon, so she can kind of go with him to help him make sure that he doesn't get taken advantage of. So he tells her that, he keeps thanking her, and he's like, I have to keep thanking you because of you. Like, you made me who I am today because you believed in me. You poured into me in a way that, Karen just did not. The way that none of his other previous girlfriends have not. And Fatima doesn't know how to like receive that information. You know what I mean? So she's like, well, she's at the point where it's just kind of like, I mean, she doesn't know how to take it. You know what I mean? So she's always like, I can't do this. Like, she always looks away when he compliments her. And she said it's because she's falling for him and she's scared. She doesn't want to get her heart broken. She doesn't want to get hurt. And Zach is just like, I got you. I'm all in with you. Which we can see that he is. So that's where they're going. Or should I say that's what they got? That's what they got going right now. So they have more sex before she goes to work. We switch back over to now Danny, who shows up at Sabrina's apartment. I personally think it's weird that they all have keys to each other's apartments and houses and they just walk in. Literally nobody has a key to my house, key to my apartment, I should say, but me. I think it's weird. That would scare the hell out of me if I heard somebody walking in here because I live alone. So it would terrify me. Like, I would be like, what the if somebody came walking in my door, especially when I'm like in bed and kind of sleep. So Danny comes in and she's talking to Sabrina. She's looking around like, the fuck happened in here? And it's kind of like, why aren't you at work? They have another back and forth conversation where Sabrina called Calvin the panty man. I hollered because she is not going to let that go. She is not going to let that go. Sabrina wants to talk about Preston. I mean, Danny wants to talk about Preston, and Sabrina is kind of just like, I'm over it at this point. You you wanted that man at first. You had a really good man, but then he starts living with you. He's paying the bills. So Danny was feeling like Preston was too close. He was suffocating her. And instead of her having a conversation about, let's go out of the house sometimes and do some other things, because we don't see them out the house. They don't go to dinner. They don't go on dates. They don't do, hell, we don't even see them riding in the car together. So it's like you wouldn't be feeling so suffocated by this man if y'all actually went out and did some stuff. Or if Preston just, got out the house and did some stuff. Why don't you tell her from, or why don't you tell him from, this 2 hour block, I like to come home, decompress, do whatever. Why don't you find something to do within that time frame? So now Danny's freaking out because she's like, well, he hasn't called. He always calls this morning. He always calls around this time. And Sabrina's like, girl, I don't want to hear about this because this is the same shit that you keep going through with this man. Either you want to be with him or you don't. Either you want to, get stuff together and realize that you have a good man, or you want to be alone, but no one wants to keep going in this circle with you. Nobody. So Zach is sitting at Fatima's house. He calls her and tells her that they're able to see the house at noon. He has to get a jump on it before another buyer comes in and looks at it. And Fatima is like, you should go ahead and do that. I don't have to be with you. This is your house. And Zach is like, look, I really don't know what I'm doing. I just want to make sure that this is a good investment. I know that you know about this kind of stuff. So Fatima's like, cool, I can go do it at 12. Because Zack is like, I've never bought a house, let alone bought it with cash. So, he wants to make sure that he's on the right path. Hayden, bitch ass, is listening to Fatima's phone call. So Hayden is like, how he got money to buy a house with cash? And I'm like, Hayden is such an unnecessary character. He's such an unnecessary character. I don't know what Tyler Perry's angle is or what the purpose is with Hayden, but he is an unnecessary character. So then we have Andie gets called into the office of one of the partners, and they introduce Robin to her and Hayden. Robin is going to be helping with setting up a new firm, where they're going to be the London firm. So Robin is going to, be working with them, and Fatima's boss Andie's boss wants her, Andie, and Hayden to show him around because I guess they've been there the longest, tenured, whatever the case. So her boss leaves, and Hayden is like, all right, well, I do like tax law, that type of stuff. So Andie, why don't you just show him what you know, and then I'll just take care of the rest. And Robin and Andie was kind of like, oh yeah? And Robin was like, you doing a lot. So Robin and Hayden go kind of back and forth, with Hayden being like, I ain't even talking to you, bro. And Robin is like, no, you being disrespectful for no reason. I'm going to talk to her and deal with her. Like, you don't see the problem in what you said? And again, Hayden is just an unnecessary character. He has literally no redeeming qualities. He's not even a good antagonist on the show. He's just not. So Hayden eventually sees that he's not going to win that argument or whatever they had going on, so he leaves. Robin then tells Andie that he didn't know that it was going to come out this way, and the truth of the matter is he's going to be her boss. His firm in London is buying out the firm that she's working at now. So he's seen everybody's file, and that's why he knows so much. That's why he knows so much about her. He knows about the FBI raids. He knows about Gary. And that's why, I guess that's kind of why he was going so hard in the paint about her relationship with Gary, and about, you really don't have to, you ain't really engaged, girl. Because, he knows. He's been looking at her file. So now she's offended. She says she's embarrassed. And she's like, oh, so you thought I was just a quick lay real quick? And he's like, no. I was flipping through the paperwork. Came across your picture. Wanted to get to know you better. Read through your file. And that's kind of it. And she's like, oh, well, I'm embarrassed because you know everything about me. Yeah, you should be embarrassed because he knows all your dumbass mistakes. He knows all the dumbass stuff that you've done. He knows all the dumbass stuff that you have allowed Gary to do for you and to you, and you are still with this man. So he then sends her a link that's a bunch of stuff about him. And he's like, look, it's not even like that. Here's a bunch of stuff about me. It tells you the work that I've done. Tells you everything about me, down to the fact that I like avocado toast in the morning. So she's like, okay. And I'm like, Andie, girl, this man give you a little bit of attention, and now you just completely sprung. Watch his ass, because I don't trust Robin. So then finally we see Sabrina finally getting to work. She walks in and it's dark, and she is pissed. That's just why I can't trust Maurice. So she calls him and leaves a voicemail. Maurice, where are you? This is why I can't trust you. I mean, granted, I'm late too, and it's like, you're not going to write him up like you claim when he gets there. You know that, because you don't ever write Maurice up. You don't ever reprimand Maurice for any of the discretions that, or, transgressions he does at work. You just don't. So all of a sudden we hear Q say, shut the fuck up, bitch, or something to that effect. And we see him lead Maurice out. He has a gun to Maurice, and all these other masked men come out, and they're like, let's open up the safe. Let's get this shmoney. And I'm like, what a dumb ass situation that Maurice got himself into. I am Tammy Talks. If you made it this far, please subscribe to the channel. Thumbs up the video. Leave some comments down below. Let me know how you guys felt about this episode, and I will catch you guys next week.